Hi, welcome to 8 Limbs of Fury. My name is Kiana, and today I'll be taking you through a mixed movement class, calling it Rise Up. It's great for the morning. We'll do some Qigong, some Hindu wrestling inspired things, and then also, of course, drawing from inspiration from Ashtanga Yoga and Hatha Yoga. So let's get started. All right, so we're going to start standing today, feet hip width apart. Spreading through the toes, pressing the big toes down. And then feel strength coming up through the body, pulling the lower belly in, lifting the sternum, pulling shoulders up and back, and then pushing the back of the skull back toward the wall behind you. Think as if you have a string connected at the top of your head and someone's pulling you up, growing taller. Now as we breathe, we inhale, our shoulders come up and back a little bit. As we exhale, we're pulling that lower belly back and in. Taking a few breaths here, standing. Bring a little softness to the knees as you inhale, lifting up like someone's pulling the top of your head up. And as you exhale, sinking, releasing down into your knees a little bit, into your base. Inhale. And exhale. Find your breath. Take one more. Good, all right. So we'll get started with one of the Qigong 8 brocades. So this is the first of the 8 brocades. It's called Supporting the Sky with Both Hands. So get your hands in kind of a loose position here. Feel them able to bounce with your body. And as you breathe, inhale, your palms will be up. You're going to lift your palms up towards the sky, turn them, and press the sky up. And exhale, bring them down, bend your knees. The butt sinks a little bit and goes back, and then inhaling, rising again. Make sure the shoulders stay down. Gaze up at your hands as they come up. And then meet your gaze at your hands when they're down. The first thing in every Qigong sequence is the breath. So you're rising, inhaling, growing, and exhaling, sinking, releasing. So inhale, lift the hands, palms up, turn the palms, press the sky, gaze up, exhale, sink and release. Become aware of your shoulders here. We want space between the shoulders and the ears at all times during this. As you're exhaling, kind of push the palms towards the ground a little bit. Feel a stretch through the upper part of the shoulder. Let's take 3 more at your own pace. And last one here. Good. Come back up to standing, roll the shoulders back. All right, come to the top of your mat. We're going to make our way through some sun salutation letter A's. I'm going to teach one part of it a little bit differently. All right, so the sun A begins with standing tall, top of the mat, pressing through the feet. And again, take a scan of your body coming up here. So pull that lower belly in, bring that tailbone slightly down, lift the sternum, and then take your head back a little bit to lengthen the back of the neck. Again, someone's pulling on that string, and we are growing taller. Inhale, both arms come up. Palms can press or not, but keep the shoulders down. Exhale, forward fold. Take some bend to the knees in this first one here. Get into the backs of the legs. Press the palms into the ground or your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, step the feet back just to downward dog straight away. Don't worry, we'll get going with the arms here in just a second. So feel up your downward dog for a moment, making sure that your tailbone is reaching up and back. Your knees can be bent here as long as your tailbone is reaching up and back. Often, bending the knees actually helps facilitate that, so play around with it. Take a few breaths here. Press the back of the skull back so that the back of your neck lengthens a bit. And of course, press the palms into the ground. We've got 4 connections with the earth here. Make sure they're all spread out and pressing down. 2 more breaths. Breathe into your back. Last breath. Good, and on an exhale, we're gonna take some down dog push-ups. So you're gonna lower your elbows down to the ground just so that they hover, and then press back up. Exhaling to lower the arms down, hover the elbows, and inhale, press back up. Now, play around with the breathing here. It might be easier for you to inhale going down and exhale pressing up. I recommend the exhale on the part of this movement which you find more difficult. Good. Take 5 more at your pace. I encourage you to pick up the pace a little bit. Good, and on your next one, exhale, lower the elbows towards the ground, then look forward towards your palms and try to slide forward into chaturanga. Good, bring your knees down, your pelvis down. Let's take a cobra here for this first one. All right, so I like to rotate out my shoulders a little bit when I arrive here. Press your palms into the ground, press your forearms into the ground, and pull your sternum forward. Again, finding that movement of the head back to lengthen the back of the neck. And then your feet and your legs are on the ground here, so press them down. Pull the lower belly in. Let's take 3 more breaths here. If your back wants a little bit more bend, you can press your palms into the ground. Tilt your head up a little bit. Last breath. And exhale, release. Good. All right, so now we're going to press the palms into the ground by the rib cage, tuck the elbows in, and on exhale, lift up, chaturanga. Then take your knees down. This is the second part of a yoga dand. We're going to be sliding our bodies along the ground, taking our hips up and back. Kind of like you're pressing something over your head, like an overhead press, except you're going to do it along the ground. I'll demo that one more time for you. So from here, you're going to be lifting your hips up and back, and without touching your chest to the ground, push your body back, then tuck your toes, downward dog here. Good. So that is a modification of what's called a yoga dand. Dands are from Hindu wrestling. They inspired a lot of what we call yogasana today. Good. On your next exhale, start walking your feet forward to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, palms pressing against the shins or the ground. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, palms up. Press the palms if you want, but keep the shoulders down. Exhale, samastitihi. Round 2, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Pull the lower belly in. Exhale, step the feet back, downward dog. Lower the arms, we're coming through to that chaturanga. So lower the elbows towards the ground. Come forward, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, back to chaturanga. Knees down here. Slide your body along the ground. Pressing back. Downward facing dog. That's our sun A today. Take 5 breaths here. Can you hear your own breath? If not, breathe more. Last breath here. Good. Exhale. Step your feet forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise on up. Exhale, samastitihi. Round 3, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, downward dog, and lower into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, lift the chin. Exhale, chaturanga, knees down, press back. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Five breaths. Three. 2. And 1 at the bottom of your exhale. Take your feet forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, down dog, and lower the elbows towards the ground. Scoop forward, upward facing dog, to chaturanga. Knees down, press back. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Take one more breath here. Lift the hips up and back. Really stretching out the spine. The bottom of your exhale. Hopper step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Rise up, inhale. Exhale. All right, one more round. Let's do it. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, Back to downward dog. Lower the elbows, scoop forward. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, chaturanga. Knees down, press up and back. Downward facing dog. After your fifth exhale, step the feet forward. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, samasthiti. Taking one breath here to ground, inhaling to grow tall. And exhale to feel your feet on the earth. All right. So take your feet wide. We're going to be trying to open up our hips a little bit before we get into Sun B. So take your feet at a 45-degree angle out, diagonal. Press your big toes down. Make sure that your arches are lifting up off the ground. And then we're going to take a few squats here. But we're not taking the kind of squats where you're shooting your hips back. We're taking the kind where you're just lowering. So really trying to open up this front part of the hips, okay? So find that in your body, that feeling. Inhaling to rise, exhaling to lower. And again, not going necessarily as low as, the floor, but really just low enough to open up. And then coming back. Make sure that core is nice and tight. If you want something to do with the arms, I suggest having them out here. Elbows pulling away from the body. Lightness in the hands. Let's take 3 more. And 1. Good. Now take your foot out a little wider. We're going to find a goddess squat. So toes turned out. Press the big toes down, again, making sure not to collapse in the arches. Make sure your knees are going over the pinky toe edge of your foot, not the big toe edge. Sinking down and coming back up. So finding that same opening in the hips at a wider distance. If you lose your balance, just laugh at yourself and come back. Good. 1 more with rising and lowering, and then stay down there. Take your arms out here, pull your shoulders down, and you can rock back and forth. Might feel good to straighten one leg completely, and then come back. I encourage you to try it. This always makes my hips talk. Good. Awesome. Now keep that in the legs. Take the hands here. This is a modification of the 5th brocade in Qigong. So we're going to keep our hands on our legs and inhale, twist over the left leg. Exhale, round forward through the spine, bring the chest forward, and then coming over the right leg, back to center. So inhale, twist. Exhale, come through center. And back. Inhale, twist the other way. Exhale through center. And back. Inhale, twist. If you feel like your spine has something to say, take this with a little bit of your own intuition. At the end of the day, you know what your body needs, so go there. Good. And if this isn't feeling good for you, hold goddess. Bring it a little bit lower. Good. After this round, coming up, we're going to hold goddess together. Lower down more than you would like. Strong arms, relaxed shoulders, maybe bounce. I'm going to take 10 breaths. You can take your hands back here if you feel like your chest wants to be open. Halfway there, 5 more breaths. Maybe lifting onto the tippy toes. 3, 2, and 1. Straighten the legs, heel toe the feet together. Standing tall here. Press the feet into the ground. Lift through the front of your legs. Almost push the hips forward a little bit. Create some space right here. Grow tall, breathe in, and breathe out. All right, moving into sun salutation, letter B. Step to the front of your mat again. Sun B starts with Utkatasana. Nice to know our legs are all warmed up. So inhale, bend the knees, send the hips back this time, and arms come up. Now, traditionally, you will be trying to squeeze the palms together. Not everybody's shoulders have the space to do that healthily, so think about really rotating your pinkies towards one another, and then bring them towards each other. They might touch, they might not. Breathe here, sink deeper. We're gonna take 5. 4. With every inhale, lift the sternum. With every exhale, sink deeper. 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, I'm going to cue the Yoga Dawn transition again. Step back to downward dog. Exhaling through. Upward dog, inhale. Exhale, chaturanga, knees down. Press back, and then lift the knees, downward dog. Turn the left foot out. Bring the right foot forward. Inhale, bend the right knee. Make sure that knee is over the pinky toe. Rise up. Inhale. 3 breaths here. Again, every inhale, lift the sternum. Every exhale, sink a little deeper. 2, and 1. Bring the arms down. Step back, down dog. Lower through. Yoga Dawn, inhale, upward dog. Exhale, chaturanga. Pressing back, downward dog. Bring that right toes out, left foot forward. Inhale, rise on up. 3 breaths here. Pinkies towards one another. Exhale, hands down. Step back, down dog. Lowering through, upward dog. Exhale, chaturanga, knees down. Downward facing dog. Great work. 5 breaths here. If you're finding it hard to lengthen your breath, take the knees down, send the hips back until your breath lengthens again. Then coming back to downward dog. Last breath here. And your exhale, step your feet forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees. Hips are down and back, rise up. Utkatasana. 3 breaths here. 2, and and 1, Samasthiti. Awesome. All right, another round. Inhale, Utkatasana. This time we're only holding for 1 breath. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to down dog. And go through to upward dog. Exhale, chaturanga. Knees down. Press back. Downward dog. Root that left foot. Right foot comes through. Inhale. Warrior letter A. Exhale. Down dog. Elbows come towards the floor. Find that yoga dan. Good. Root the right foot. Left foot comes through. Inhale, rise. Exhale. Plant the hands. Down dog just momentarily. Find your transition. Once you arrive in downward dog again, we'll take 5 breaths. At the bottom of your 5th exhale, step the feet forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sink the hips. Bend the knees, rise up, Utkatasana. Exhale, Samasthiti. All right, great job. We've got 1 more round. Try to take it with your breath as much as possible. Inhale, bend the knees. Arms come up, hips go back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, plant the palms. Bring the feet back and lower through. Finding up dog, inhale. Exhale, chaturanga, knees down. Press. Good, root the left foot, right foot comes forward. Nice generous bend in the right knee. Inhale and exhale. Root the right foot, left foot comes forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale. Whew. I hope your arms feel as good as mine right now. Find your 5 breaths. The bottom of your 5th exhale, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees, hips back. Rise up, sternum lifts. Maybe on this one the palms touch. Exhale, Samasthiti. Let's take 3 breaths here, just standing. Find your feet again. Feel them supported by the earth. Awesome. All right. Now we're going to weave in a little bit more Qigong here. We're going to be doing the 8th brocade of the Qigong 8 brocades. So this 8th brocade looks a little something like this. One way you can do it is lifting up on the toes, and then with an exhale, dropping yourself on your heels. It's called Shaking the Body Wards Off Illness. I love that name. So just rising up on your toes and dropping down. Keep your shoulders nice and loose. And then you can even speed it up. Really get those arms. This feels really good. Awesome. All right. And we're going to take it a little bit deeper with another variation of it. So inhale, lift onto the toes and press the hands down like you're lifting yourself up out of a pool, you know, pressing into the ground, lifting your body up. And then exhale, lower to the heels, sink down into a squat as far as you can go with keeping the spine nice and straight. Arms are up, shoulders are relaxed. And inhale, elbows back, press the hands down, lift the body, exhale, fall. Inhale, elbows back, hands down, press, exhale, fall. Good. Keep going with your breath. Inhales, rise. Exhales, lower the body. Let's take 5 more. And after your 5th one, doing that first variation for a little, lifting up, shaking the body. Good, really get that breath behind it. Good job. All right, so we're gonna find what I call a yoga burpee. Don't think about it, let's just do it. Inhale, lift up onto the toes. Exhale, squatting down, plant the hands, jump back. You can do a chaturanga push-up or a normal push-up, whichever one you would like. Hips go back, jumping the feet back forward, and then jump up, and then you're coming back down. Plant the hands, jump back, push up, hips back, jump forward, inhale, jump. This is what it would look like to do the push-up on the knees. All right, let's take 5 more. If you find your push-up is getting a little sloppy, take the knees down. Two more. One more. Woo! Great work. Let's take a moment to breathe. Standing tall. Let your breath be what it is for a second. Bring a smile to your face. Be proud of yourself. And once you feel you can, lengthen the breath back up. Great work. Okay, we're gonna be moving into some standing postures. So come to the front of your mat. Take your feet hip width apart. It's about 2 fist distance. Inhale here, hands to your waist. Exhale, fold. Take your peace fingers, grab onto big toes, Padangustasana. Press the big toes down like you're pinning your fingers into the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Pull the chin back. Exhale, fold. Now I know your legs are nice and warm. You can probably feel them here. Try to provide your body with as much stability and strength in the legs as you can. From the feet, pressing them down, all the way up to the glutes, isometrically pulling them apart, lifting the hips up. If reaching the toes is a struggle, just grab on the back of your shins and pull yourself down without getting your shoulders too involved, meaning shoulders don't become earrings. 2 more breaths. Last one. Good. Inhale, halfway lift here. Moving to Padahastasana. Taking your hands, stepping on them. Make a nice, comfortable shoe. Again, if reaching the floor like this is a struggle, hold on to the back of your calves again. Inhale, lift, and exhale, fold. Now you're going to be pulling your arms as if you're trying to pull them out from under your feet. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Keep those quads nice and strong. 3 more breaths. Now take the weight onto your toes more than you might like. You might feel like, oh, I'm gonna roll forward, but just try not to. Last breath. Good, exhale, release the hands, hold the waist. Bend the knees slightly, inhale, rise on up. Step the feet together. Samastitihi. Good. All right, open up to the right. Turn the right toes out. Left toes are facing forward. We're going into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Now, if you know your hamstrings are kind of tight, if you know your back is kind of tight, grab a block in your right hand and hold it there for this. Inhale, shift forward, and exhale, bring the right hand down. Now, you might find like you can grab your big toe if you shoot your butt back a whole bunch. We're not trying to do that today. Keep the butt in, not back, and slide down your leg. Press the back of your right hand into your right knee. And then lean your body back. You might feel again like you're gonna fall over. Try not to. Find that edge right there. 3 breaths. 3 more breaths, I should say. 5 total. 2. And 1. Inhale, rise up. Turn your right toes in, left toes out. Shift, and then lower. If you had a block on the other side, grab it on your left hand this time. Take your left hand to your shin. Lean back, really trying to open up this part of the body. The right side, QL area. Press your left hand into your left leg. Gaze up. Lean back like you might fall over, but you won't. 3 more breaths. 2. And 1. Inhale, rise up. All right. And then from Trikonasana, back to the front of your mat, Samastitihi. Inhale, step wider than before. Your feet are further apart now. Turn the right toes out. Left toes stay parallel. Left foot stays parallel with the front edge of your mat. Bend into your right knee. We've already kind of worked into the hips today, so bend as far as you know you can. Arms come up. Inhale. Exhale. The right hand can come forearm to thigh here, or palm to the ground. Palm to a block is perfectly great too. Take the left hand forward, gaze to the left hand. Rotate it so that the inner part of your elbow is trying to turn up towards the ceiling. 3 more breaths. 2 and 1. Inhale, rise up. Right toes come in, left toes out. Bend into the left knee, a whole bunch. Inhale here, and exhale. Find your variation. Remembering to rotate the elbow like it's trying to scoop up towards the sky. That should come from the shoulder. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, rising up. And then pivot to face the back of your mat. Come onto the back toes. Bend into the front knee, hands on hips. It's nice for stabilizing here. And we're going to be bending that back knee and try to drag your back leg towards your front leg. It's kind of lengthening this part of the quad here, the front of the left leg. Good, 2 more breaths there. Sink a little deeper. And 1, come all the way down, left knee down. Bring the hips forward and down, stretching through psoas. Now these muscles in the front of the left hip. Arms can come up. Gaze up, let's take 5 breaths here. Press the top of the back foot into the ground. 3, 2, and 1. Take the arms down, send the hips back, half splits. Ardha Hanumanasana here. Half splits. Lengthen the sternum forward. Don't round and drop here. We're really trying to bring the chest past the toes. Flex the right leg. Good. Then step onto the right foot. Turn the toes to face the side of your mat. And we're going to be finding, what is this? Flying monkey. So you'll be finding a squat with your right foot. You can be up on your toes. And we're just going to bounce a little bit. Bouncing here, bouncing to the side. This is one of those parts, too, where I can cue all I want, but really your body's intuition is going to guide you through this part. Find what feels best on your hips. If you need to be upright more, go there. Good. And then press into the right leg, coming up to standing. Turn to the front of your mat here. Make sure that your right toes are behind your right hip and your left toes are in front of your left hip. Coming up onto the right toes, bend into your left knee a bit. Bring that tailbone down, bend the back knee, and then drag the back leg towards the front leg. Really lengthening through the front part of the quad here. 3 more breaths. 2, And 1, drop to the back knee. Untuck the toes, let the hips come down and forward. Chest comes up, arms reach up here. Again, try to drag the back knee towards your front foot. 2, 3 more breaths. And 1. Plant the palms, shift the hips back. Lift the sternum forward. Drag the sternum forward here. Good. With an inhale, you might like to lengthen. An exhale might like to deepen just a little bit. Try to keep the sternum lifting forward the whole time. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Then turn the left toes a little bit forward. Tuck the right toes. We're moving into flying monkey again. Flying monkey variation. So flying monkey would be like this. It's rather hard for me to lift my chest from here. So I'll come onto my toes a little bit and then start to bounce. Turning over your right leg maybe. Bounce a bit. Good. Awesome. All right. Using your body's intuition right here to guide you. All right. Press into the left leg. Coming up to standing. And we're going to stay right here for a moment. So toes are facing the side of your mat, face forward. Nice wide legs here. Press the big toes down. Press the medial part of your leg down into the ground. Trying to open up the legs here. Lifting the belly in. Lifting the sternum up. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands to waist. Inhale, lift through the chest. And exhale, fold down. Prasrita Padottanasana. Letter A, press the hands into the ground if they get there. Inhale, and exhale, fold. Bend the elbows. You can walk the hands back. Stay nice and strong in the legs. If your head goes to the ground, bring it there, and then press the top of the head into the ground. Make sure the elbows are hugging in towards each other, just enough to make like a cube with your arms in the ground. Three more breaths. Strong legs. Last breath. Inhale, press the hands down, lift the head. Exhale, hands to waist. Bend the knees a little bit. Make a nice stable base. And then inhale, rise on up. Good. Readjust the feet. Inhale, arms to the side. Exhale, take the hands behind the back. You can grab opposite elbows here, or if it's accessible to you, weave the fingers together behind the back. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, fold forward. Make sure those legs are strong and stable. Try to keep the palms pressed together if you're interlacing fingers. 5 breaths here. Two more breaths. Inhale, rise on up. Exhale, hands to waist. Heel toe the feet in a little bit. And exhale, come to the front of the mat. If you're feeling a little dizzy after that, go on and come down to the mat for a few breaths. All right, and then at the front of your mat, we're going to make our way to the floor. So standing tall, inhale, arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back to down dog. Find that yoga done. Bring the elbows down, coming forward. Upward facing dog. Chaturanga. Knees down, press back. Downward facing dog. Great work. All right, coming down to kneeling here. We're going to find a back bend. So press your feet into the ground. Lift the sternum up. Pull the legs together as if you're trying to have the thighs touch, except we are not. So pulling them towards one another without actually having them touch. And then pull the tailbone down. That's a nice stable base in the legs. Lift the sternum up. Bring hands to heart here. We're moving into a back bend with the breath. So inhaling to lift the sternum up more and exhaling to find some opening in the chest. This is a great place to stay. We can be here for 5 breaths. If Ustrasana is in your practice, go ahead and take it. Bringing the arms back. Finding the feet. Pressing the feet into the ground. Opening up through the chest. Taking the head back. If your back is hyper flexible, I suggest finding something with a little more stability. If you want that opening today, go for it. 5 breaths. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press the feet down. Lifting up to kneeling. All right. Come to a seat on the ground. Bring your feet out forward. Finding a seated forward fold here. So sit up tall. If your hamstrings are on the tight end, I encourage you to find a pillow or blanket or a bolster to sit on. And you can also bend your knees. So you're going to be lifting the sternum up and forward, taking either the shins, the ankles, the toes, or the sides of the feet here. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, lower down, finding a forward fold. 10 breaths here. With each inhale, you can lift the chest forward a bit. With each exhale, lower forward. Three more breaths. Good. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, release, coming onto our backs here. I like to keep my soles of my feet on the ground for a moment, lift the hips up, tuck the tailbone, and then roll each vertebra onto the ground, like each vertebra trying to touch the ground there. Take a moment here to feel supported by the ground. And then we're going to find an inversion. So I'm going to take happy baby. If you'd like to take another inversion, like just legs up towards the ceiling, that's great. Legs up the wall is awesome, or a headstand, go for it. For happy baby, bend the knees, and you can either grab the shins, the ankles, or the outsides of the feet. Whatever one you choose, though, make sure that the lower back stays connected with the ground. We'll take 5 breaths here. Can rock back and forth. You can also straighten one leg at a time or both legs. 3 more breaths here. If you're straightening your legs, make sure your lower back stays connected with the ground. 2 and 1. Bend the knees, release the feet. If you'd like to pause me and take a spinal twist here, that might feel really nice. Otherwise, we're going to make our way into rest, Shavasana. Bending the knees and keeping the feet on the ground can provide some support for those with a tight back or just any back pain. Otherwise, let your body relax completely. Let your body be wholly supported by the earth beneath it. The ground holds us up all day long. And now we feel a space and time to surrender into it and release into Shavasana. Feel free to pause the video here and take a longer rest. In fact, I encourage that. I'm going to start making my way, rolling on to one side. Pressing into a seat. Sitting up tall, take hands to heart. I invite you to offer a message of peace and love to the world, to all the living things that coexist here with us. May all beings everywhere be happy and peaceful. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today and making your way onto 8 Limbs of Fury. We'll have another video out for you next week. Have a good one, everyone.